Other interesting business news, the 2025 BMW Z4 with a stick shift finally getting some praises after most people, begging BMW, like, come on, get off your keister, make something fun. With, I'm not saying that the CEO of BMW M series should be fired. Oh, okay, maybe I am. I'll never forget the BMW the M series, which again, that's supposed to be their sports high performance brand. Last year, he said people don't really care about stick shifts or sports cars because they don't get as better, right? They don't get as good fuel economy. Again, I'm not sure if he's inebriated or just stupid, but no one buys a sports car and gives a damn about fuel economy, especially a BMW. If you want a car that's fun to drive that gets moderately good fuel economy, they're out there. Don't get me wrong. Mazda Miata is a fun little toy. I love my Honda Civic Si. But once you get the BMW, you get what was the ultimate driving experience, the ultimate driving machine they call it. You could ask them what's the top 10 things about this car. None of them are going to say fuel economy. At that point, it's miles per gallon, which is why I'm still flabbergasted that there still is a CEO at BMW, the M Group, that still has that ideology and isn't more dedicated to the third pedal. But again, this is some good news, so I'll take it. Now this comes to thanks to Chris Tsutsui, who's a writer at The Drive, which he says, quote, the 2025 BMW Z4 M40i manual is finally getting pretty good. He says, I've never been a big fan of BMW manual transmissions. The Z4's new handle shelter gearbox, however, deserves a second look. And here you can see the BMW Z4, which looks pretty good. Obviously, I'm not a fan of that bastardized front license plate being bolted on that thing. Also has one of those foreign weird countries on the license plate. It's Ontario. It's from that dictator state, Canada. But I partially digress. Diving into the actual article, he says, quote, last summer, BMW Z4 came out and said that it would be the end of the line for BMW manual transmissions. Fire that man. Yeah, instead of hire that man, that guy should be gone. In response, it came with a blog that argued that there'd be no big loss because BMW manuals will just frankly aren't that very good. Make an exception for the F1, obviously. They say it's rubbery and shit feel, sadly, but oddly placed clutch pedals, and weirdly difficult to drive smoothly. And appeal of the manual BMW has mostly been a theoretical more than anything. In response to this, we feel that every BMW fan on the face of the planet came out of the woodwork and into my inbox shouting obscenities, insults, and outrage. Notably, most of the counter-arguments rarely address my actual point or say, no, Chris, BMW manuals are really good. They're just boiled down to different flavors. How dare you? There you can see the rear of the vehicle there, which, again, if I won the lottery, I'd probably have one of those in the dream warehouse garage. It's one of the fun little coupes out there these days. And here you can see one of the most beautiful things, the actual stick shift, where it is a thing of beauty, a rare thing, and a great theft deterrent. Most thieves are going to see that and go, what the hell is that? I can't steal this. I'm going to go somewhere else. Now, they say, quote, in any case, since the episode of BMW said, hold on, there's more, and came out with a 2025 Z4 M40i handle shotter package with a 3-pedal version and a straight 6 2-seat convertible. You actually got my hands on one, and essentially, to see if it fixed, and I'm happy to say, it's pretty good. Let me get the bad out of the way. The Z4 new manual shift still feels fairly rubbery in relation to other manual gearboxes, but at this point, maybe it is a deliberate, creative decision on BMW's part, rather than the result of some long-standing engineering cost restraint. My two other big qualms with the BMW manuals. However, this has been mostly corrected. The clutch is much better placed in its M2 and that of every BMW manual I've driven, and it's been easier to drive smoothly in traffic, although the Z4's 2-to-1 shift still feels a tad clunkier than it has to be. They say that in other manual BMWs, say C-tier transmissions, it should be a B+. The rest of Z4 is inherently quite good too. Aside from the manual, it's actually quite pleasurable to use. It says the Z4 M40i's handle shelter package is $3,500. It isn't available on the base S-Drive 340i's 4-cylinder Z4, which also includes different chassis tuning, black Shadowline trim, Vernosca leather, and bigger wheel and brakes, which here you see the beauty of having those 3 pedals down there. It's all car should have by default, obviously. He says, getting up at highway speeds, you're reminded very quickly of why the BMW B58 straight-six engine is so highly regarded. The Z4 M40i pulls like a miniature locomotive, full throttle visits the red lines, slamming through the gears, indeed gives you a buzz. All sports cars strive to deliver. The engine sounds sonorous and sporty, and I was going to say, who cares about this last sentence? It's hella, he really said this. He says it's hella fuel economy. A fuel efficient, which is a phrase I don't think I've ever heard. Nevertheless, it averaged 24 miles per gallon over 500-mile test. which 5 people will greatly appreciate. Say 0 to 60 happens in about 4.2 seconds. It'll top out at 155 mile per hour, which, again, it's one of those things where when I was a kid, it used to be all about the 0 to 60 times and how fast you can get that car. EVs, for better or worse, have viscerally destroyed that metric because, again, now everyone could have really quickly 0 to 60 times for pretty much every computer on wheels. So, again, I think the new metric for, a sports car to me is, how much fun is it to drive? What does it feel downshifting into a corner on a track? So I think, at least for these types of sports cars with ICE engines, I mean, it says, what is it, 4.2? Again, that's okay. To me, top speed is fun. And then, of course, what is that feeling diving into that corner on track and exiting that corner in another gear? And there you can see a couple more pictures of the outside there, which, looks pretty good. It looks like they updated it just a little bit more, make it a little more angular. I can see those beautiful pedals. Every time I walk, maybe, is it just me? Or the other gearheads, when you're just walking in a parking lot, you happen to see a car with the stick shift, do you just smile a little bit more? I do, especially if it's one of those modern Supras, BMWs. But yeah, it's something that just makes me smile a little bit more, seeing those rare things out in the wild. Again, in North America, United States, less than 2% of all new cars come with 3 pedals. It should be on the antithesis. It should be 98% of cars come with 3 pedals, and the other, 2% are automatic. But I partially digress. Looks like it's. We'll do one more picture of the interior there. Actually, there you go. See a nice shift knob sticking out there. Looks like BMW's finally making a little bit of a comeback in terms of reputation for the stick shift being a little bit more better than it used to be. Now, again, the real issue is how many of these are going to sell. At this price, well, I was going to say, this type of body style, I think you're kind of probably competing with a Porsche Cayman. The price, Jesus Louise, it says Canadian spec. What the hell is that? I'm pretty sure perhaps it does come with maple syrup and extra mousse in the glove compartment. Or maybe a baby mousse. What is that called? Probably something funny. But nevertheless, maybe some hockey pucks in the glove compartment too. But yeah, it says base price Canadian spec as tested. Canadian, what do they have for currency? What is Canadian currency? Is it shekels? What do they have from Gryffindor, Harry Potter? Nevertheless, it's $96,000 Canadian or $70,945 American, which, that's actually the price point is very close to the Porsche Cayman, which, that'd be an interesting question. Again, fun coupe, stick shift, track toys. I'm not sure what you would want. I'd venture more. I guess the track enthusiast would probably lean a little bit more towards Porsche. But still great to see this coming out from BMW. Looks like they gave a score of 8.5 out of 10. And again, seeing these stories about stick shifts, I know I'm in the minority in terms of people who actually love, really driving their vehicle, having 3 pedals. I know I'm definitely a minority in that case, but I don't know, something about it just makes you smile a little bit more. Now, looks like a couple of these top comments. One comes from Smacky Frankie. I don't know what that means, but nevertheless, says, quote, so this works out to be within a few bucks of the Porsche 718 Spider S, which of course is lighter and has a brilliant steering and gearbox. Pretty easy choice if you have 100,000 burning a hole in your pocket. In 4 likes. Features too says, I've raced against BMW manual transmission since 2002. No G hater. I drove 2002 back to back with a Peugeot 504 gas 2-liter back in 75 and was astonished how unpleasant the shifter was in BMW. The ZF on the Pug was a joy to short, slick shows and never missed a slot, while the Get Rag on BMW was notchy and rubbery, getting 1 like. One more. William Getz says, I like the look of these and it's nice and getting manual. Wish the wheels were smaller though. Rear 3/4 reminds me of a Triumph TR78. Which, now the real question is how many of these units will actually sell and could enough people buy it where, makes BMW realize that, then there are still enthusiasts out there who are willing to pay a premium for, 3 pedals and no track toy. Again, a massive volume of all these luxury car sales, including Porsche, is SUVs, which are very profitable and a lot of people buy them. But yeah, I don't know. There's probably a couple folks who still appreciate that 3rd pedal. But let me know, if you had $100,000 hypothetically and you had to spend on a car, and we'll say magically free maintenance and insurance for life and gasoline, or as the foreigners might call it, petrol, which does sound kind of cool. I appreciate the word petrol, but nevertheless, let's say you had free all that stuff and insurance, yada yada. Would you rather get a Porsche Cayman with a stick shift or the BMW Z4? Let me know your thoughts, because as always, be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Thank you everyone for taking the time to tune in today. Again, trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of the month, so if you can click that button, I greatly appreciate it. Also, give me a thumbs up, thumbs down, or comment. It's a great way to give me some additional feedback, letting me know how I can make the show better and better. Lastly, don't forget to take time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe, fight the good fight.